Welcome to Foibles and Fights, the swordiest sword show that ever sworded. I'm your host, Mike Fadem, creator of the League of Swords. And this week, you folks picked the topic. And thank you very much, because this is the one I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about Dune and the Slow Blade. For a quick refresher, in the universe of Dune, everybody who's a combatant or a warrior or a fighter or whatever, soldier, has this personal shield thing. It goes over your whole body, it covers you like an extra layer of skin, and it prevents fast-moving objects from penetrating, which means that bullets are right out. Laser weapons exist, but shooting a shield with a laser weapon causes a nuclear explosion, apparently, so that's right out too. But the shield has to let air through, so any object moving slower passes right through. This has changed warfare entirely. In all three major adaptations of Dune that have happened so far, the fights are done pretty much the same. Very fast-moving knife fights. In the most recent adaptation by Denis Villeneuve, the fights are based off Eskrima, which is an incredibly fast-moving Filipino martial art. All of these fights look cool. Are any of them based on how the actual technology works? Now, you know I'm not really much for realism in fights anyway, but I thought it'd be fun to take a look at how you might actually choreograph something, considering the slow blade technology. So I've been thinking about that, and fast fights can look really cool, but fast doesn't always mean good in the world of sword fight choreography. And I think I would not do a fast fight for something like this. I think a shield fight would be all about control. Whoever controls their opponent long enough that they can get a slow push in of some kind would win the fight. And since grappling seems to be in and allowed, then I think we're more in the realm of mixed martial arts. After all, while the shield lets air through, if you're choking your opponent, they can't get the air anyway. And there doesn't seem to be anything that would stop that from happening if your hand is moving slow or just pressing in place. So I would think a lot of things like triangle chokes and rear naked chokes and other kinds of chokes, not that kind, you dirty, dirty person. Grappling for position, trying to find an advantage, trying to get your opponent to slip up so that you can lock in something that would allow you to either choke them out or slip something in. However, MMA fights aren't always the most exciting to watch. In order to make it something interesting for the screen, I think a fight around the shield should be built around tension. Two fighters slowly circling each other, jockeying for position, waiting for the other person to make a mistake so that they can quickly capitalize. But what I just did, that's a mistake. That would just bounce right off. So you need to have more of a lead with your hand, I think, in trying to grapple the opponent. Remember, your hand has a shield, so your hand can block the attacks. You can use it like a gauntlet, almost. So you could lead with this and be trying to grapple your opponent, wrap them up so that you can slowly insert a blade. Or, like I said before, so you can wrap them up and choke them out. It would be a lot more groundwork, a lot more deliberate movement. And so, yeah, you build that around the tension of the fight. You build that around figuring out who's going to make a mistake first. That kind of deliberate pace would also allow you to make characters like Gurney and Duncan Idaho even more badass, because when you see Duncan go through a hallway and just incapacitate 7 guys in the space of like 5 minutes, if every other fight has been a slow tension build, it really drives home how cool that character is. Think the Daredevil hallway fight, but with more grappling and a little bit more stabbing. Sun just really came out right before I filmed this last shot. Anyway, speaking of Duncan Idaho, your homework this week is to tell me the silliest name in science fiction down in the comments. Until next time, remember to like, subscribe, sign up for our mailing list, and learn about these episodes before anybody else. And as always, stick them with a pointy end.